A whopping 36-hour battery life on my Yaesu FT5. I'm gonna show you how this time on K&MRD Radio Stuff. This is my FT5. This is the battery for the FT5, a spare one in fact. It's a 2200 milliamp hour battery. It's okay, I get on receive maybe 13, 15 hours a time. But as you're using it, and I found especially going to the ham fests, when you're actually talking to your friends on the radio all day, your time goes considerably down, and I would have to throw one of these on the charger while I was using the other one. Couldn't get like a full day of actually using the radio out of these. Well, Kevin, W0AEZ, has a solution. It is that right there. This is a 3D printed battery case for the FT5, and this thing is awesome. It'll actually work with the with a lot of the different FT series, you know, FT3, etc. Anyone that uses this same battery, this should work with. So there's a 5 amp hour capacity in here, and USB-C charging. I believe he's working on a new model that should be able to work with a charging cradle that he's coming out with, but he's 3D printed this whole thing. So like, here's the tabs. I know it's kind of hard to see, it's black, but these are the tabs here that are gonna connect to the radio, and it simply snaps into place just like that. Now, there are some gaps. It's not perfect, obviously. This is an aftermarket product. You're gonna lose your waterproofness with this. For me, that's not a big deal. I don't typically operate in the rain. I understand you can get caught in the rain, so there is that, but it should work with the belt clip. There's a little bit of, you can kind of see that little doohickey there. That's just like some support material when you 3D print. So theoretically, we should be able to take this apart. This is per his email to me, and pop that out and put this belt clip on there. The other thing about this, you are gonna lose the functionality of using this little cradle here. It doesn't work because this actually is just, it latches onto the radio, and you put a bigger battery on there. It's simply not gonna work. So we're limited to the belt clip there. So we lose waterproof, and we've got to use the belt clip. We don't get to use this, but to me, that's not a big deal because we've got a USB-C charging. It took me about 4 hours to fully recharge this when it was hooked up to my little geek battery box. So I want to take this apart. He says we should just be able to slide this out and pop that little guy out. I want to put the belt clip on here, but I also want to see the guts of this, so hopefully we can make this happen somehow without breaking it. Oh, it's coming out. It's coming out. I don't know if this is really how we're supposed to do it, but hopefully he's not cringing as he's watching this video. What a cool design though, man. Like, that's gotta take a lot of time to just figure out how to do this. Okay, so these should be in the description on his website. It showed these as being Samsung 21700 cells, I believe. I'll put an overlay right here, but I'm not seeing too many markings. There are some things here, S50E, M54A1, whatever the heck that means. I mean, it's the same markings on here, so it could be a batch number or something. Nicely constructed though. Nice, shiny, solid solder job there. Looks like there's a couple different circuit boards. Here's our USB-C circuit board here. And then it looks, I can't really, you might not be able to see it on camera, but tucked down in there, there looks to be a BMS down there, I would assume. It looks like there's 2 different circuit boards in there, so this would be the balance cable, I would imagine, connected to here. So that's pretty neat construction. And then we should, so here's the inside. I mean, it's a nice print. We should be able to pop this off. We might have not even needed to take this. Well, we still would need to take it apart. How the heck, you know what? I've got a couple different implements of destruction. Maybe use a little screwdriver. Oh, look at that, yeah, okay. So that came out pretty easily. Oh, yeah, that was easy, okay. And then this, there's kind of little grooves there. Should just fit like such. And we might have a belt clip. Maybe. If I can find my screws. That is important. I couldn't even imagine the amount of time it took to design this in some CAD. I mean, this is just... And it's like one solid print. This whole thing is one solid print, and then this is one print. So it's only two pieces of it, which is, that's pretty impressive. All right. Look at that. Huh? Huh? And then this should just pop right back into place. It does. And then, oh, look at that. How cool is that? Now this is a big honking, I mean, you got a lot of battery there, a whole lot. I mean, it is twice the depth of one of these standard batteries, but I mean, the payoff, number one, it sits on the table a lot easier. I mean, I know, like, I always use the belt clip on here and I hardly ever like detach it. I always pull this out with the radio and then you go to stand it up and it falls over. So for me, and there's even you put little feet on there. So that's pretty cool. So it wants to stand up. It wants to be the radio and it wants to give you, I got 36 hours of this. Now here's the deal. The Yaesu, the FT5's battery gauge really kind of sucks. So I turned this on at like 5 in the afternoon, came back the next day, kept checking, and I basically had the radio with me all day. At 5 o'clock p.m. the next day, was still running, so 24 hours. So I'm like, all right, how long is this thing gonna last? I went to bed at like midnight, it was still on. I woke up for my middle of the night, I'm over 40 bathroom break, and it was like 5 in the morning, and this thing was still on. Now, with the battery gauge, this thing, and it does the same thing with these batteries, when you only have 1 bar left, you still have a lot of frickin' power in there. It's not calibrated very well. So this thing was on 1 bar for 12 hours. That was amazing. So big, ginormous batteries in there. And then check this out, because it charges with USB-C. Get Little Geek going here, because this is, like, everything should just charge with USB-C. This solves just the charging problem alone. 5 amp hour battery takes 4 hours to charge. You just plug it in there. Now this is a PD thing, and the battery's pretty charged now, so we're not gonna see much current, but it was pulling at least a good solid amp, a little bit more. I mean, it's charged and we're pulling 1.1 amps. Actually, this pulls a little bit. So we're actually pulling about 900 milliamps right now. USB-C. There is a little light in there. You can kind of see it right there. Unfortunately, there's not a charge indicator. That is another downfall of this. Like it kind of looks like there's a couple different colors in there. I know it's hard to see. So there's really no way to know if it's fully charged unless you have a meter that just, drops in current draw. Or when you turn your radio on, it shows you the voltage really quick. So I'm at 8.1 volts right now. That's pretty much topped off. So once you get to 8.1, maybe 8.2, but I think 8.1 is kind of fully charged there. That's when you'll really know if you don't have a charging, a current meter, when this battery is actually fully charged. So pretty easy, but man, how cool is that? I will leave a link to his website in the description for you to pick one of these up, and hopefully he sells out really quick, because I think he's got an awesome product.